Hello and welcome to Burning Questions. And look at this. We've got 5 people. I've overachieved yet again. How do I do it? I don't even question it. The main man here, though, the birthday boy, is Tara Tom Hogan. Now, what age are we turning today, Tara?
74.
74? Is that your phone? Is somebody calling you to say happy birthday? Are we holding this up? Are we holding the birthday celebrations up or what?
Someone's trying to sell Sue something at the door.
Will she buy it?
No.
No. You've already got your seafood. You're ready to roll for tonight?
Yep.
Great to have you here, Candyman. You were the first man in the meeting, then you ducked out, then you came back. Where are you? You're out on the deck, aren't you?
Out on the deck. It's one of the very rare days of late that we've had a bit of sunshine here in Murnion, and just happy to enjoy a bit of sunshine.
Have you had a fresh cut to wind up for the Inter Dominion? You're looking very, very slick.
Yeah, just recently had a little trim. I was starting the wind resistance was, I think, maybe very much required for the next week or so, so I had to trim it up.
You've been listening to Clayton Tonkin, haven't you?
That's it.
You've got to get lighter any way you can.
Exactly.
Even if it means cutting some of your locks. Brittany Graham, what a privilege to have you here. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Bono.
Now, are you prepared for later in the show that you might tell Greg Sugars, I'm going to attack you with Majestic Harry so hard I will ensure you break?
No, I don't want anybody breaking, because you know what happens when you wish bad things upon other people? It just comes back around to you tenfold. So, no, I don't think that.
I have found that over the journey. I've wished a lot of bad things on a lot of good people, and it has come back to bite me. Andy Gath, you're hydrated. You've had a swig of water. You're feeling good. Everything working out with the lips and the tongue. Everything's good to go.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting in this car waiting for you to turn up, but yeah, had to have a little bit of a drink to get to this episode, especially with 5 of us on.
Rightio. Let's have a go at me early. Right, burning questions. Number 1. Inter Dominion starts at Ballarat this Saturday night. Have the draws ensured Believe will dethrone reigning queen, despite the fact she's one of the fastest trotters we've seen? You're very confident, Greg Sugars, and you've been confident with Just Believe before in a big race, the Bill Collins Sprint, and you won. Talk us through it.
Yeah, look, the horse has done a great job right throughout his career, but particularly his short-term stint with us so far, he hasn't really put a foot wrong yet. So, we're pretty happy with him going into this race and to have a front row draw, which looks to be a big advantage over Queen Elida, who's clearly our main danger on paper. We're very happy with where we're situated. So I think I've got the right horse to try and put him in the hunt. And if we're good enough to make him chase the whole way, well, so be it.
Is there anybody you think would possibly on that front row inside you dare to hold the Candyman out?
Oh, look, yeah, there's a couple of chances there that some people may want to try and hold the front, but I'm not overly concerned if it does work out that way. We know he's a good racehorse, and he sat quietly, sat outside the leader and controlled the tempo in the mile where he won. So if he has to do that again, that's still okay in my book.
You're sitting quietly. You're in a recliner. It almost looks like a hammock. Don't fall asleep during burning questions. Tara Tom Hogan, talk us through how tough it is. Round 1 of Inter Dominion heats, trying to work out the best horse, the best drawn horse, how it's all going to work out, who's going to play for points, who's going to try and make a statement. It's not easy, is it? We'll Just Believe be just leading and winning here. I've backed Queen Elida, so please don't tell me he is.
I've backed Just Believe. I think he can, as Greg said, get outside him in the first 400 or 500 metres and can control the tempo in the breeze. Sleepy's your probably leader. It began pretty good at Maryborough last time in, 12 or 13 months ago from barrier 5. It led comfortably. I think he has no problem sitting out outside of Sleepy and control the race and be very hard to beat. 2-horse race, Just Believe from Queen Elida.
I was hoping today with this big panel Normally, I'm outnumbered by the trainers and drivers. I was hoping the broadcasters and the form analysts, it would play in my favour. I've got a really good feeling everybody's going to say just believe. Andy, am I right?
Yes, you're right, J-Bon.
Well, you don't know what Brittany's going to say. So just calm down. All right, give your opinion first.
Yeah, no, I think, Just Believe ran third in the Inter Dominion last year and gone to another level since Jess and Greg have taken over the training. So, yeah, he holds all the aces for the barrier draw, whether he leads or sits in the death. He'll be able to control the race. And as good as Queen Lighter is, she's still only a 4-year-old. She's only won one open 3-4 race against the males. The rest of the game been against her own age. So, she's a quality mare, but she still has to do it against his opposition. So, but I'm with Just Believe camp. I think he'll be too good and be winning this race.
Apparently, Brittany, we're taking Inter Dominion form from last year. So Bonsell Benjamin is going to jump out of the ground at Ballarat on Saturday night. All right, Britt, your thoughts? You're going to be with Just Believe as well, for sure.
Certainly am, and even if I wasn't before the start of this, I was probably just going to do it to upset you. But no, I'm a big Just Believe fan. I thought his run last week was massive. I know some people say, getting flat tyres, it does make that much of a difference, but I think it's like pulling a handbrake on, and for him to still be able to accelerate, dragging that flat tyre, I thought he was super. So, I can't see anything to his inside making life too hard for him. I had him finding the lead, and even if he doesn't find that position, he's won a Group 1 from outside of the leader, and maybe that's worse for Queen Alida because she can't make a move probably during the mid stages of the race. She has to stay back there and wait. So, the ball's in Just Believe's court, and I think he's one of the horses to beat in this series.
Greg's very smart too. Like, he's got a friendship with Matty Crave, and he was out having a couple of beers with Ricky Elchin. You just keep them close. You keep everyone close and you talk them through it, and that way you win big races. Question 2, Andy Gath. Andrew Patrick, will Madge simply lead and win as Andy Gath has planned, or will some quick beginners drawn out wider show their hand? Do you reckon anybody's going to have a real decent crack at you?
I think a couple will come out the front row. It's quite a fast front row. He's never drawn barrier 1 in his 54 starts since I've had him, saying that probably 50% of them he's been out of the draw, so it's been his own doing. He has got natural gate speed. Saying that, there's a bit of speed outside him, but I'd be surprised if anything could cross him. He's a naturally fast horse. We've had a trouble-free preparation. We'll wrap with his first up run. He savaged the line around a 55 half, so he's ready to go. He's had 5 starts at Ballarat for 5 wins, so he handles the track pretty good. So, question mark over Bolt for Brilliance. We know what a great horse he is, and he's only going to get better throughout the series, but it's our opportunity to sort of have the wood on him in this race, I'd say.
Tell you what, Tara, Dan Andrews and Matthew Guy, they've run really good campaigns. Andy Gath was calling every journalist in the land to tell them that he was going to lead with Majestuoso early in the week. He just wanted to declare his hand. He should be favourite, I reckon. Are you on the same page?
Yes, I am. I think he can lead. The 2200 metre start, you get a good run up, front straight start. I think it favours the inside horses myself. Not that it needs any favour. It's a very quick beginner. I think it'll lead and be very hard to beat.
Greg, just say something controversial for no reason. Say sometimes Courage is going to fly out and lead and win. I mean, we can't just be all Majestuoso.
You know how much I love to argue with the J-Bond, so there's no way I'm going to do that.
You like to argue with your butcher. I think you like to argue with homeless people on the side of the street. You'll argue with anybody. But yes, okay. Talk to me.
Yeah, no, I'm in Andy Gath's corner here. As long as he behaves himself and does everything right, I can't see anything getting across him. And I don't think he's ever been beaten when he has led. So for mine, he's the leader and the winner.
Brittany, you are a versatile character. Trainer, driver, newshound, superstar in all respects. Have you got any inside information on exactly where Bolt for Brilliance is at?
No inside information, so to speak, that I know that nobody else does, but had a chat to Tony Hurley this morning on radio, and he basically said he looked for reasons not to come across, and he couldn't really find a reason to stay at home, and he's really super happy with his horse. Got posed a question about whether he's 90% fit. He says he's probably closer to the mark than everybody assumes. So it's interesting with these Kiwi horses. We often see them take maybe a run or two to get accustomed to our style of racing. Then again, this is a heat race, not a race that you expect to be run at a really frenetic tempo. But it wouldn't surprise me if Sundance Courage and maybe Always Ready do have a look early on to try and get across, and maybe that leaves Bolt for Brilliance in a position where he gets shuffled back a little early on it, and then if he has to find his way to outside the leader, or if that's a position he wants to be in, he's actually going to have to work to get there as opposed to just lobbing there and doing no work. So yeah, I'm Team Majestuoso too, and I was really impressed by his first up run. I think it's always a query when horses draw one for the first time, but he gives the impression that shouldn't be too big of an issue.
I'll tell you what, Gregory and Andrew, if Bolt for Brilliance just sits there parked and crushes you, you might just scratch your horse from the series. If he's had a lung infection, he can do that. I don't know how, we're going to learn a lot, aren't we, Andy?
Yeah, no, definitely. Again, if he sits outside my bloke and beats us, you think he's only going to get better throughout the series. And there's no doubt, he's still the top seed, Bolt for Brilliance. His best is very good. It's just very hard to line up the form from two different countries. But yeah, I've loved him from day one, and yeah, I'd be happy if he stayed in New Zealand.
Hey, Tara, have you got your elaborate big A3 printout with you, or can Sue get it? Because I'd love to show the burn. It's right. You sleep with it, don't you, Tara? It's right. Could you put it as close to the camera as you can? This is unbelievable. That's not A3, actually. That's like
Well, yeah, we're going to put it on Majestuoso's race.
Yeah, show us. There's some orange highlighters there. Have a look at this, people. This is what it's all about. I love that.
What about the other side? But you haven't got this, Bono. The trials. When they trial back. We've got a print out on those.
What does it say about Radius? We'll talk about that later, maybe.
Radius. Trial the joint down, didn't it?
Well, I'm pretty happy to be on. Question 3, the burning questions. This is fun. It was always going to be. Is Mac Dan the moral that he seems to be on page, or will Expensive Ego make a statement on big stage? Tara, I'll tell you what, it looks like the $1.70 about Mac Dan is money for old rope, unless you tell me different.
No, I think you're right there. It led in the Miracle Mile. I can't see why it can't lead here unless they want to take a trail on that now. But I think Mac Dan will go for a all-the-way win and be very hard to beat. And you're right. I think it runs about $1.50.
Now I'm going to go to Jodie Quinlan about the Blazing Gates. Peter, no, she's not with us, unfortunately, after the drive-by at the end of the... Anyway, Act Now, I don't think it'll be leading here. And, by the way, I'm going to push harder. Act Now, 11 starts. We're not leading, 1 win, 3 placings. Gregory Sugars, Mac Dan.
Yeah, obviously a very talented horse and proven at this level. He couldn't have been more impressive winning last time around. So, the way the cards have fallen for this race, it looks very hard to see him being beaten. Expensive Ego, definite question mark on him when he crosses the border into Victoria. He probably doesn't seem to perform quite the same as what we've seen him perform up at Menangle. There's no doubt that if he produced his form from this series 12 months ago, that he's probably clearly the horse to beat. He was obviously outstanding through that series. Didn't matter what distance they'll run over or how they ran it. He was there and in the fight. But we haven't sort of seen that sort of performance from him for quite some time, and especially not in Victoria. So. It'd be very interesting to see what he does. I think we'll learn more about him and exactly where he's at through especially these first 2 rounds of heats.
Brittany, I want you to tell me about Mac Dan and also explain to me whether you feel Greg is still hurting from handing up to Expensive Ego in the Victoria. I can't. I'm getting that vibe that he still hasn't quite recovered, and he takes time, Greg. He can take years sometimes to get over these things. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I was a really big fan of Expensive Ego as a younger horse, but his form's just been so patchy probably in the last 12 to 18 months, and it's just hard to trust him, particularly when it looks as though it's a race shape that doesn't suit him. It was interesting to see Luke really get to work on him at Menangle last time out. He was out in front and he didn't let him get away with an inch there. He made sure that he sort of got to the line and through the line. So whether or not they're, of the opinion that maybe he's not 100% concentrating on his job at the moment, and I know that the team have come out and said that they can't be happier with him, but they sort of said the same thing going into the Victoria Cup. So it's just hard to know until he actually does it. And he also trialled there at Menangle last week. And although the time was good, I think if they'd let Jillaby Kung Fu go, he may have gone past Expensive Ego. And we know he's sort of on the comeback as well and not rock hard fit. So I'm in the Mac Dan camp. He's one of my favourites after he won the Newcastle Mile earlier this year for me. So I'll stick with him again. And I think he's returned really well. His last start win was super.
Andy, those phrases like money for old rope and money for Jim, you can't actually bet with old rope, can you? You can't get a jar of Monbulk and actually say, can I have this with a wage? No, you can't, can you? $1.70. I think you'll start $1.40 or $1.30.
Yeah, I know this is supposed to be burning questions, but this is actually a simple question. Who'll lead and win? And $1.70 is a good odds at the moment.
Well, it's good to see you actually stick your neck out half, because often you just talk around in circles and then I've got no idea what your opinion is, and you say, that's a really hard question. It's called burning questions. So I'm glad that was a cheapie for you.
No, I appreciate it.
No worries. Question 4. Will this be so easy? Oh, this is a lot. There's a bit here. This is hectic. Who will lead at start, then Bell in second pacing heat, and do the guns off second row remain the ones to beat? They are Spirit of St. Louis and Honolulu Bay. Will start with you, Brittany Tiberius Graham.
Zeus Bromack will lead to the first turn, and he'll lead with a lap to go, and he'll lead at the 50th post.
That's a lot of leading. So, hang on a sec. Will Alta Orlando cross him at the start?
I don't think so. I know.
I wouldn't mind bringing up a chat that we had earlier in the week where I said Zeus Bromack would lead and you said Alta Orlando.
Yeah, well,
can we bring that up?
I'm just trying to throw you off the scent. No, I've changed my mind. I went back and looked at the replay of last start. That's the point of form, Jason. Sometimes you have to go back and watch replays and actually take it in for a second time. But
I might try that.
I went back and watched the replay of when they last met a couple of weeks ago. And as much as Ultra Orlando held Zeus Bromack, Gavin Fitzpatrick took a real hold when he was between he and Weeb in Boppin. And for that reason, I think with the advantage of drawing to the inside of Ultra Orlando, even though I think he does leave the gate better from out wide, Zeus Bromack did lead a Chariots of Fire going back to a few seasons ago. So I've always said he's got underestimated gate speed, and I think he's flying Zeus Bromack. So, yeah, I'm with him now.
You've always said he had underestimated. What this chat? Oh, look, let's get some overlay happening here. Tara, how hard is it doing the gate speed analysis when you're looking at those races in Menangle? Because it's about a 2-kilometre run into the first turn, so it can be hard to assess sometimes.
Yeah, they can build up some speed there before the first turn. I've checked out Zeus Bromack's gate speed, and I think he can get across, and I'm with Brittany that it can lead all the way. I was privileged to take the $5.50, and it's now into $3.50. So, yeah, I've put my money on Zeus Bromack at this stage. But it is a tricky race. There's a few chances in the race, but I'm with Zeus Bromack.
By the way, did anybody tune in to Gareth Hall joined us for the Friday form panel? And it was one of the most aggressive incendiary displays of all time. And he just said, Alta Orlando just leads and you're stupid. He called Dan Malecki stupid. Somebody has to get hold of this bloke and just talk him through. Greg, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I'd like to have a different opinion, but I also think Zeus will find the front. Whether he's good enough to hang on and win, I'm not 100% confident of that. But he is a stayer. If he finds the front, I think they'll be more than happy to keep it, and they will roll and try and make those backmarkers chase. But there's a quality lineup of horses off the back row there, and yeah, I'm sure they'll be making moves to try and put themselves into the hunt. But yeah, for mine, he is the leader and he will be in front for a long way. But I certainly wouldn't discount some of those runners off the back row because they're too good to put a line through.
That's not. So we got part of the answer. We still need your tip. Who you think's going to win, Greg?
Yeah, no, I'm staying out of it for the tip for that race.
One of them will win. Apparently,
one of them will. There'll be a winner.
One of the horses will eventually win that race. Andy, if you're with Zeus Bromac, I think you'll lead. I thought it early in the week, but I don't think you'll win. Who do you have winning?
I think Zeus Bromac will lead and win.
Right. Sorry, I've got some chest pain. It's all right. It's just reflux. It's a bit of angina. So he leads outright?
I think so. He's got pretty good gate speed, and I think he'll hold it out to Orlando. And even if he gets crossed by out to Orlando, he'll be first there. So either way, he's going to find the top, and I think he's definitely the one to beat.
Hang on a sec. Gareth on the line. No idea? Yeah, apparently you've all got absolutely no idea, and you're all absolute morons. I think Zeus Bromac will lead. But I reckon Honolulu Bay will get around first, get the 1-1 cover of Spirit of St. Louis, who has never in Australia been beaten in the breeze. And I'm with Honolulu Bay. Right. One more to go. Gregory Roscoe Sugars. Will Eclipse resist some early challenges off arm, or can those with some early pace cause a favourite harm? You were very much sitting on the fence during our chat on radio earlier today. Where are we at now?
Yeah, look, I'm more than happy to try and hold the front here. Look, I'm not 100% confident I'll be quick enough to do so, but we're really happy with where the horse is at. We took a sit in the Victoria Cup when I don't think I had the horse that I've got right now going into the race, and also in the tactics. We had Copy That sitting on our back that day. The Victoria Cup, so that was a major factor in taking the sit as we did. But I think, this is a sort of race that we've got to stand up and be counted. He's not a one-trick pony like a lot of people have sort of thought throughout his career. I know trials are different, but going back a few months, he did lead in a track record trial at Geelong on a pretty ordinary night. Trialled against Catch a Wave that night, so he can run the times, head in front. So that's certainly plan A. That's what we're going into the race. If we're quick enough at the start to hold him going into the first turn, that's where we want to stay.
Two things: is he 100%?
Yes, I think so.
I felt like that wasn't as convincing as I wanted. We'll say 99. And will you be desperate to retake the lead if you do get crossed?
Not so sure about that. I don't know to see how the race is unfolding. But like I say, plan A is to try and do our best to not let anything past us. But plan B will be something different if we do happen to get crossed, and depends by who we get crossed by.
Right, we've got to be quick here because Tara's got his fish on the barbecue. He wants the lobster as soon as possible. Tara, spoiler alert, he's going to be my best of the night, Better Eclipse, but Greg's not making me confident. Can you make me confident, please?
Well, I think he can kick up and lead. The only one I think it can worry him off the front is 100 to 1 chance Bonsall Benjamin if he gets out.
Reigning Inter Dominion champion.
Yeah. Well, but anyhow, that'll be up to Greg what he does then. But he's got a good hope. I'm not saying he will lead. Better Eclipse, he's got some hope of leading. And if he does, he'll be certainly the one to beat. And I had a little small bet on him at $2.40 to cheer him up.
Now, tell me, what did you mark him in your markets?
220. But if he finds a lead and for the first 400 gets it pretty cheap, the race is all over, I think.
I wish you'd marked him $1.50. That'd give me a lot more confidence, Tara. Brittany, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm with Better Eclipse on top, but probably don't have the same confidence that you do. But it was also a case of
Neither do I anymore.
Struggling to find a horse to beat him. I think there's a variance of scenarios where he can win. I probably thought in the Victoria Cup, it's hard when horses aren't used off the gate often. They are sometimes do have the gate speed, but it takes that little bit out of them at the end when they're used. But obviously Greg said that they probably weren't happy with the performance as a whole, and maybe that was a reason as to why he didn't go as well as we thought, not necessarily might be the arm. So I think I'm not 100% that those horses out wide will go forward. But even if they do and they have to cross him, I don't think those horses in the middle will be on the scene quick enough to put him in a pocket. So I'm sitting with Eclipse on top. I've talked round circles. I was straddling my inner Andy Gath just then, but I'm with race 7, number 1.
I'll tell you what, you're in line for a whack from Andy now. He's like a backlash candidate. And your mic was going in and out, but I think you were being taken over by the chirping bird out with Greg Sugars at the moment. I don't know. He's an ornithologist. He's our man, the candy man. Right, Andy, are you as confident as I am, at least?
No, but firstly, that was great work from Britt. That's how you answer a question. Round and just get back to where you start and finish it like that. So, no, I think Better Eclipse holds all the aces. I think once our benchman's the only one that could cross him if they choose to go forward. There's probably only one horse off the front row that Greg would probably hand up to if he chooses to, and that's like a wildfire. But I think if he holds him, he's happy to hold the lead. And, yeah, he's definitely going to have a great chance throughout this series, and his chance of getting really good points early from this barrier draw. So I think if he leads comfortably, he'd be too good for him.
Now, before we get to the best bets, crucial, and we want Tara's more than anybody. Andy went through a great run early. A bit 50-50 since then. We'll get to best bets in a moment. Brittany, would you like to make your case what you're going to do to Greg in that trotting heat with Majestic Harry? You haven't come here for nothing. Well, you actually work for Sky, so, I mean, you're here for a reason. But you're also driving, and you've got really good gate speed. Greg's a bit worried, a bit skitchy one overall. Just attack early or not?
Oh, well, that might be up to the horse. I haven't driven him for a little while, and he's been rifled off the arm at his last start, so I might be a passenger for that first little bit. But, I mean, as you said, we've come down here for a reason, and, we could draw 12 next week. So I think we have to come out for 50 and have a little look, particularly with the fact that Greg probably isn't 100%. And I haven't driven at Ballarat, but I've seen that you'd like to be. And that's the shortest way home at any track, but particularly at Ballarat, it seems to be a big advantage. So, little Harry's legs might be going 100 miles an hour early on, and we'll see what we get to.
Gregory, any rebuttal? Is one overall, is the problem the start or just anywhere in the race?
No, it's just the start. And it hasn't been all the time. Like he's shown brilliant gate speed on occasions and led from outside the front in Melton against good opposition. So when he puts it all together, I don't think anything could cross him really. But the fact that he has made a few mistakes behind the gate, or it's not so much before the start, it's shortly after the start's his issue. But once he gets past that, he's pretty much bomb-proof. So, there's no hiding the fact that I'll be a little bit conservative for that first sort of 100 metres or so, but extremely confident if I get him past that point, then it'll be game on for us. Yeah.
So Greg's going to be conservative. That's basically an invitation he's mailed in the post to Brittany Graham to come out as fast as you possibly can. You'll get that tomorrow, I reckon. You'll get that in the post, Brittany. Fantastic. I've got 2 best bets. My first is that Greg's going to have Just Believe as his best bet. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah, very happy with the horse. And like I said, we've got the barrier draw advantage over what looks our main danger. So, we're going there full of confidence, especially with him.
Brittany Graham, who's your best on the card? Night 1 of the Inter Dominion.
Well, I was going to make it Just Believe, but we can't all be in complete agreement. And this is probably not much better because he's going to be shorter. But I think Mac Dan will win the first leg of the quaddie.
Right. We're going to save Tara for last. Mine is Better Eclipse. But by the way, I'm selling shares to anybody who'll take him at the moment. I've lost all confidence. Not really. Andy, your best.
Yeah, I've made this one best bet a couple of times before, and a couple of times he's nearly got there, and that's Major Meister. So going for him, and I think he's race 8, number 4, first run for Grimo. So I think it'd be pretty hard to beat.
Do you reckon Grimo improves horses sometimes?
There's been a couple along the way, so it'd be interesting whether he improves this one or not. But yeah, there's been a couple along the way that I've noticed.
Now, just before we get to Tara, haven't you finally acknowledged we went through a long period where you wouldn't talk about Lark Captain's gate speed? Isn't Lark Captain going to cross?
It crosses everything when he draws the front row.
Right. Tara, this is the big wind-up. 74 today. Big seafood feast coming. Everyone wants to know your best bet. What is it?
I've got two best bets, if you allow me.
Double trouble.
MacDan,
Yep.
$1.70. And here's another one. It's a special one. You have to get on their Sportsbet site to run top two. And we've all agreed on these. You run first to second, you still get paid. Queen Elida, run 1-2. Majestuoso 1-2. MacDan 1-2. Better Eclipse 1-2. $5. Put as much as you can on.
Outstanding. They've all got to run top two.
They'll all run top two. Queen Elida will run top two. They'll all run top two. The more you put on, the more you'll get back.
God bless you, Tara Tom Hogan, and happy birthday to you. Does everyone want to say happy birthday to Tara or what, Andy?
Yeah, happy birthday, Tom.
Good on you,
Greg.
mate.
Happy birthday, Tom. Enjoying that seafood platter.
Brittany,
Yeah.
something. Happy birthday from you.
Of course, a very big happy birthday, Tom.
And I'll back you the place. $6. $6 the place, Harry. Go, Harry.
Go, Harry.
Is there anything you haven't backed?
Well, I've had a lot of bets. The one that I like, the 4 special. Surely all these two are going to run first or second. I think it's a matter of saying where's the payout curve.
The rich get richer. Well done to all involved. The biggest panel ever in the history of Burning Questions. Thank you, Tara Tom. Happy birthday to you. Well done, Andy. Well done, Gregory. You can go for a sleep in your hammock now. And well done, Brittany Graham.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the
God
best.
bless everyone and enjoy the Sky Racing and Trots Vision coverage of night 1 of the Inter Dominion series at Ballarat this Saturday night.